Breaking news, my country people. Everywhere don scatter o. 36 governors sued over failure to account for 72 billion naira subsidy palliative. E don happen o, my country people. E don happen. The Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has filed a lawsuit against the 36 state governors in the country over their failure to account for the spending of the 72 billion palliative collected from the federal government, including the details of the beneficiaries and the reliefs provided with the money. Now, we know that the federal government now, they brought about this palliative idea because they want to cushion the impact of the removal of the fuel subsidy. And then the federal government recently disbursed 2 billion out of the 5 billion palliative package to each state of the federation and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). Now, President Bola Tinubu had, during his inaugural speech in May, announced the removal of petrol subsidy, which had since led to the hike in pump price, as well as food prices, transportation fares in the country. And here we are seeing that last Friday, a suit was filed at the Federal High Court in Lagos. The SERAP is seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel each of the governors to account for the spending of the 2 billion naira palliative collected by them from the federal government. The SERAP is also seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel each of the governors to disclose details of the beneficiaries and the reliefs provided to the poorest and the most valuable Nigerians with the money. The SERAP is further seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel each of the governors to instruct the independent corrupt practices and other related offences, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, that's the EFCC, to monitor the spending of petrol subsidy palliative collected by them. In a suit, the SERAP is arguing that secrecy in the spending of the 72 billion collected by the governors would create distrust, it would create suspicion of the government, adding that the failure by the governors to account for the public funds is both legally and morally wrong. The organization is also arguing that the governors are constitutionally required to act in the public interest, stressing that government secrecy promotes and covers illegal acts. According to the SERAP, the right of access to the official information, such as the spending of the 72 billion by the governors, exists to facilitate the exercise of free expression right, to discover the truth, and to encourage citizens' participation in a democracy. The organization is also arguing that the right to access information held by public officials and bodies is also, essential for collective decision making in a democratic society. The suit filed on behalf of SERAP by its lawyers, Mr. Kolawole Oluwadare and Blessing Oguche, read in part that yes, it is in the public interest to direct and compel the 36 state governors to account for the spending of 72 billion palliative and any subsequent disbursement of public funds to the state. And this is no democratic freedom, or there is no democratic freedom without accountability. And accountability is that the people should have the information about the functioning of the government. But now they have compelled and directed the governors to give account on the spending of the 72 billion that was given to them by the federal government. And this functioning democracy rests upon participation upon accountability, citizens cannot fully participate in democracy unless they are allowed to effectively enjoy the right to know what their government is doing in their name. And yes, the right of access to information also lets in light and allows the public to scrutinize the workings of the government and find truth in them. Nigerians have the right to know how their states are spending the fuel subsidy relief funds. It is quite, illegal. It is quite illegal if they don't. Okay, guys. Well, my country people, what are your thoughts on this issue? Now, Nigerians have been called upon that look at what's happening. Oh, there have to be transparency, there have to be accountability in the spending of the money that was given to all state governors in the federation for this palliative disbursement. Now, this palliative disbursement by the federal government to the governors to the people, they are calling for accountability because it would help reduce the risks of corruption, it would help reduce the risks of mismanagement, of diversion amongst the governors and those at the top places. The oversight afforded by public access to the details of the spending of the 72 billion palliative and any subsequent disbursement to the governors would serve as an important check on the activities of the state, and it will help to prevent the abuse of public interest. Now, the constitutional principle of democracy provides a foundation for Nigerians' right to know the details about the spending of the 72 billion fuel subsidy palliative. Citizens' right is to know it is very important to know, it is very crucial for the citizens to know. So, my country people, you see that the removal of the fuel subsidy have negatively affected the poor in the society. It has affected us economically, socially, and otherwise. Nigerians are currently struggling. A lot of people standard of living in this country is very, very poor and very low. So we are now looking at the state governors to disburse the said palliative payment that the federal government have already given to the state governors, and they are yet to disburse. So the syrup, they are asking for accountability, for the governors to give account on how far they have spent this money. So my country people, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comments section. Thank you.